In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to connect Azure Devops to Smartsheet and set up a working sync between the two platforms. We'll go through the process from start to finish in a clear and simple way so you can link your project data and make sure the right information flows into Smartsheet. This is especially useful if you want to track work items, manage reporting, or keep teams aligned without having to manually update everything in two different systems. To begin, open the Smartsheet integration or connector setup area. This is the place where Smartsheet lets you create connections to outside tools and define how information should move between systems. Once you're there, start a new connection or integration setup so you can choose the platform you want to link. Next, select Azure DevOps as the system you want to connect. This tells Smartsheet which service you'll be pulling data from or syncing with. Be sure you choose the correct option, especially if you have access to multiple integrations, since each connector has its own setup flow and permissions. After that, sign in to your Azure DevOps account. Use the account that has access to the project, boards, or work items you plan to use in the sync. If your organization uses multiple Azure DevOps environments, take a moment to confirm you're signing into the right one before moving forward. That can save time later and help avoid connecting the wrong project. Once you're signed in, allow the required permissions. These permissions let Smartsheet securely read the data it needs from Azure DevOps, and depending on the setup, may also allow updates to move between the two systems. Review the permissions carefully so you understand what access is being granted. From there, choose the Azure DevOps project or the specific work items you want to sync. This step is important because it defines the scope of the connection. If you only need a certain project, board, or item type, select only what's relevant to keep the integration clean and easier to manage. Then map the Azure DevOps fields to your Smartsheet columns. In other words, decide which pieces of information should match between both systems. For example, you'll want status, title, owner, or due date data to land in the correct Smartsheet columns. Double check these mappings carefully because accurate mapping is what makes the sync useful and reliable. Finally, save the connection and run a test. Testing helps confirm that the integration is working as expected and that your data appears in the right places. If something looks off, review your project selection and field mapping, then test again until everything looks correct. And that's how to connect Azure DevOps to Smartsheet and set up your sync successfully.